Alright, hello everyone. Here we are setting up for hole number 4, and I might just keep my extra mile here. I'm not really sure with the wind. If you have a half decent Thor's hammer, that's kind of the way that I would recommend, just for a little bit of accuracy boost. Max distance here isn't going to be essential. It's nice to have a nice long driver here. However, it's not mandatory. So there's a couple ways to play this one. You can either hop it off the left part of the fairway up here, or you'll use the right half of the fairway if you don't have the length. And here we are getting a little bit too slow to get a game again. I'm not sure why it's really spinning for Pro Division. So there should be plenty of tournament players right now in game. And here you can see kind of an entry level Thor's hammer. And setting up towards the right here isn't going to be too much of a complication. So ideally, you'll want to go to the left side of that tree, but kind of the way that we're kind of permitted to go with so that's what you can kind of run into with going to the right hand side, is it's a little bit more hilly, and that's one of the reasons that I do like to get up into this zone here, if at all possible. I'm going to do it with maybe just a tad of backspin. It usually requires quite a bit of curl, and I'm going to try to land, for the most part, in the front half of this fairway. And anytime I'm going to use overpower, I'm really not going to need to use my my tool for my driver accuracy wise. And there you can see that it comes over, shoots towards the fairway. It is in the rough. It's going to be, a very easy shot if I was to, switch up to a Titan. That's one of the things that I would kind of recommend. I wanted to just kind of, for maybe this first tutorial, just kind of use kind of more of a minimalist guide. So I'm trying to do everything kind of as minimalist as possible with, kind of forcing the issue and using very, very low grade balls. But as I mentioned, that shot will get much easier with a Titan ball. So if you are inclined to do it, that's the one thing that I'm going to really highly recommend to you guys. But here, let me get in here real quick. We're going to just try to find my distance, and my land zone, you can see when I stretch this out, it's going to be maybe about 50-60%, somewhere in there. So what I'm going to do with my slider is I'm going to kind of move it to about 50-60%, somewhere in there, and it's going to highlight 1.4 rings as kind of how much I need to go for this. So that's how many rings you will see me go. Addition to that, you'll just see that I'll play just a tiny bit of wind effect, kind of like this. And we'll try to go these 1.4 rings here. We're just going to time out. I'll just get it on the next time. It's only Monday, so you're seeing me just kind of work through things a little bit slower, which I'm fully okay with. I was trying to, get you guys a very nice visual there, and that's why I was moving so slowly. But whatever my adjustment is, you can see that my slider position, we're going to set up for the same shot. So the way that I'm going to go about doing this is I'm going to input a new wind, which is going to force me to need to reposition the slider. So that's what you're going to see me do. And I'm just going to kind of get this in. With the new wind, it's telling me to only go 1.2 rings. Now the only difference being is I am going to play a little bit of wind effect. So you might see me shoot it off to the side before I go for these rings. But also keep in mind that, I am kind of landed on a side hill. So the way that this lands could be very, um, inconsistent with the way that it hops. So something that you definitely want to be careful of. But there you can see, and I did catch my perfect ball. And looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. And it looks like I'm actually okay to get it. So there is a good chance that, especially with this new tool, the Golf Clash Notebook app, that you're really going to be dialed in with those adjustments when you go to try out the Nirvana, Spitfire, stuff like that. Very good ring adjustments. Just as I mentioned, to keep in mind, you want to keep in mind wind effect. So if I have a left to right wind like that, you're going to see me kind of put the ball guide to the left of the hole before I start my ring adjustment. Because the wind, as it plays, it's going to make the ball guide shift. It's not going to go straight as you see on the picture. So good luck with that fourth hole, guys, and be on the lookout for some revisions. I definitely wanted to get you some fairway shots, but I wanted to just go ahead and hit that rough shot because, it is something that you could run into, and something that, of course, you still want to be thinking, I can make this shot. So, just use your slider and try to estimate where you want to land the ball and just visualize, is that, 50%, 60%, and just kind of, get a good feel, and then just go to the slider, and wherever it looks like your land zone is, you'll just position this and then use the yellow number. So good luck with that hole, guys, and catch you guys on hole 5 coming up.